We got some schedule release information, Jay. The SEC gave us a little teaser of the 2025 college football season. We got 4 games that we now know the broadcast time and information for. We'll discuss that coming up next here on Locked On Sooners.
You are Locked On Sooners, your daily podcast on the Oklahoma Sooners. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Thanks again for making Locked On Sooners your first listen every single day. Shout out to all the everydayers out there tuning in and subscribe to the show wherever you get your podcasts or part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. So, Jay, we got 4 games where we know the broadcast information and kickoff times for. So what was your biggest takeaway when you saw this, Jay?
You know, the biggest takeaway for me is as a longstanding member of the SEC, you know, we appreciate the fact that they take value in the brand and what Oklahoma stands for, because they didn't bamboozle us, lead us astray, run amok, or flat out deceive us whatsoever when it comes to the times of our games. We've got one 11 o'clock game, and it's the one 11 o'clock game that we cannot control. That's because we're on the road against Temple. So it has nothing to do with us. The broadcast deal goes to Temple in their conference. It's not us. But when you look at the in-conference game, 5 o'clock for Illinois State, fantastic. Fans love the fact when you have games later because they can do all the crazy stuff they want to do throughout the day. But even better for Oklahoma, recruiting. Yeah. Because then you can get recruits in a lot easier after a Friday night game. Let them take their time to travel in sometime on Saturday and then show face at an evening game. So 5 o'clock against Illinois State. That Michigan game, John, huge. But we expected that. Like, I'm not even going to pretend like I'm shocked about that one. We knew that was going to be prime time on ABC. ESPN's not a fool to think that they couldn't take advantage of that one. That's just the unlucky part for Texas going against Ohio State. They have to go to Fox's big noon kickoff, which is god awful. But it just is what it is. It's kind of the thing that has to happen. But then, of course, Temple at 11 o'clock. Like I said, that's not our control. So we just, let them do what they do best. We just show up and we get a W, but then Red River.
That dub, get that cheesesteak.
Oh, yeah. Dub and a cheese. Because the good part about getting there at 11 o'clock Central, which is noon Eastern time, is you go to the game. Once the game is done, you can go hang out in Philly. Go check out the city, see what's going on, see the lights and the shining and everything. It's always a good time. And like you said, get some cheesesteak because the weather's going to be optimal. So you should be able to walk around. Now, it may be a little wet, potentially, but it'll be optimal up there in the Northeast to where you can go hang out around town, just enjoy the area. So, but if anything, I love the fact that 5 p.m. for the Illinois State game. Now I'm just waiting for Kent State, which is also a home game. I expect that one to be probably around the same time and probably also on ESPN Plus or whatnot.
Yeah. So I like what they're doing here. The 5 o'clock game against Illinois State on August 30th, like that's a godsend.
Yes,
because
it really
August 30th is blazing. Like that. My birthday is August 27. And one time I took my wife to a Texas Rangers game for my birthday when we were still dating. And it was so incredibly hot. She wondered what in the world we were doing there.
Yeah.
It was like, it was hot. We love being at the ballpark. We love going to things like that. But she's like, why did you bring me to a game on August 27? And I'm sure a lot of Sooner fans are very thankful that that's a 5 p.m. kickoff as opposed to an 11 a.m. kickoff or even a late early afternoon kickoff. So
like 1:30, 2:30.
Yeah. The 2:30 kickoff for OU Texas is great. I know a lot of people kind of like the 11 a.m. for OU Texas, and I get that. There's a lot. I think either one of those, the 11 a.m. or the 2:30 kick for OU Texas is perfect because it lets you enjoy the fair during the morning or the daytime, and then you go to the game, and then you're out before it gets dark. But the 2:30 is nice too because it allows a little bit more build up, a little more anticipation and excitement building into the game. And then obviously, man, getting OU Michigan in prime time, that was a no-brainer. Like if they fumbled that, I would have been calling for Oklahoma to leave the SEC and go independent at that point because Well, looking back at this, like OU Texas, 12 of the last 13 years that they were in the SEC or in the Big 12, they played at 11 a.m.
Yes.
And the SEC has put it at 2:30 each of the 2 seasons that they've had OU Texas as a part of their conference.
Well, they recognize the value of having a game at that time. Now, granted, and I talked about this on my channel over on Unfair Sports. I kind of dove into this a little bit, but the bigger thing for me is I'm indifferent about that time, mainly because around that time of the year, it's either still pretty scorching hot or hot enough because it's Texas and it's just ill. But 11 o'clock is similar. By the time that game's over, it's around this time anyway, and it's going to be just gross regardless. And traffic is not good. It sucks to get there. It sucks to leave. So no matter what, if you're leaving there at 6 o'clock at night, it's going to suck because traffic is going to be brutal, and it's at the State Fair, and it's in an area that people will say are questionable. But outside of that, no matter what, it's going to be blasé. For the viewer, this is the best time. 2:30 is 100% hands down the best time to watch this game as someone that is not at the game. If you're at the game, there really isn't a really good time. Like it just isn't. It is what it is. For a lot of fans though, having it at 2:30 gives them an opportunity to really tailgate better and travel in, because that's the thing. It's a road game for fans regardless because it's neutral site. Everybody's traveling into the area. And for some, it'd be nice sometimes have to come in first thing Saturday morning instead of trying to figure out your Friday to get there, or get there really late on a Friday and have to wake up really early on a Saturday to figure out how you're going to get yourself going. Now you get an opportunity. You can sleep in a little bit. Then you can really get your partying going. Then you can get to the fair, get yourself, corn dog, a fried Snicker, whatever you want to get yourself fried in. There's fried butter, deep fried butter in deep fried butter. You can do whatever you want to at that point. Right. Now you can take your time to get there. And I feel like that's a lot better for them. But at the same time, like I said, for the viewer, the television product is so much better at 2:30.
Let me ask you this. What's a game on the rest of the schedule you think is going to end up in prime time?
So I was looking through all of these games, and the good thing for us is that post Texas, it's all SEC play. So to me, I'm going to say, let me do the math really quickly for you, John. There's going to be, after this Texas game, you've got 6 SEC games left. I think 5 of them will be between 2:30 and primetime. I think we'll have only one game left that will be in the morning. And I'm trying to think, which team will we be on the road to play against that's in SEC purgatory where they're going to punish them with an early game? Probably South Carolina?
Yeah, maybe, but that one could have some playoff implications. So I could see them flexing that to a 2:30, or, if South Carolina is as good as everybody thinks they're going to be and Oklahoma's turned out to be good, I could see them wanting to make that, especially coming out of OU Texas. Like they might give that a flex designation.
Yeah,
because
that's
coming
true.
out of OU Texas, that could be, it could be a top 15 matchup. Depending on how the seasons go to start. I don't know, man. It's hard to say. Like South Carolina could be great. They could fall off after losing so much defensive talent. We'll see, but that could be a big time matchup.
That's true. Well, I guess the thing you got to look at when it comes to these games is who's playing who. So for the South Carolina weekend,
a big brand game for sure, though.
Well, yeah. So that weekend against South Carolina, I think this is really the reason why I picked that game. You got Tennessee, Alabama. So third Saturday in October. Yeah. That's probably going to be a game that's going to be pushed into a prime timer there. Besides that, this could end up being midday because there's really, SMU, Clemson, you've got Ohio State, Wisconsin. If you just stick to SEC, Texas, Kentucky, nobody cares about, but Ole Miss, Georgia may be something that people care about. Auburn, Missouri, if Auburn is who they're saying they could be, that may end up being something. But I think with that one, the biggest game is Tennessee, Alabama, regardless. And I guess definitely, even depending on how they play, that's probably where we'll try to figure out what other games are going to be going on to make him see. LSU plays against Vanderbilt. So it's not that great of a weekend. There's a potential that one could end up being the one where they say, we're going to throw you guys a bone and we'll put you midday also. But as I looked at the rest of the schedule, that's really the question is what other games are around them that would make sense to have Oklahoma be the first game of the day. And there's not very many. Texas, I think, may get a lot more, and that's mainly because of who their opponents are.
Right, because their schedule is kind of cheeks, and they're not really playing. But I digress. Hey, Cole Kubelik of the SEC media fandom fame believes in Oklahoma's defensive line a lot. We'll discuss that coming up next here on Locked On Sooners.